My name's James Lawler and I'm the curator of Pin-Ups exhibition for Homotopia 2011, featuring work by Matthew Stradling and Sadie. The exhibition came out of an idea talking to Matthew and Sadie about how music was an influence on all of us growing up, people of our age. I think David Bowie in particular was an artist who acted as a signifier for us, you know, before the internet and before there were visibly gay people in media and press. David Bowie was sort of the epitome of glamour and gender play, and something that we all gravitated towards.
It's kind of inevitable that Sadie and I would do a show together, and I'm really sort of privileged. I mean, we've known each other for a very long time, and we've kind of really influenced each other, and so James Lawler invited both of us to do the show, and I was really pleased that sort of Sadie mentioned the idea of calling it Pin-Ups, because that paid homage to David Bowie, who had been such a massive influence in my life.
I painted Matthew as one of the models, and I'd never painted Matthew before, and we both are very used to painting other people. But I asked him if he'd sit for me, so this is the first time that I've painted him. And he was very excited to do it. But his sin's been painted by two other artists, so he's getting to be a bit of an art tart.
It was such an honour to be painted by Sadie, and I think the painting is amazing. It's just so full on, and I knew that modelling for Sadie, she wasn't going to be that kind to me, so, but it's the reality of what I am.
Matthew did ask me if he could paint me as part of the series, and he put some ideas to me that he was thinking about, and the first thing he said was that he wanted me to be completely naked but with a giant erection, and he seemed to think that was okay. I thought he was joking to begin with. He said he wanted it to be very powerful and very sort of strong and dominating, and that I'd just be standing there with this kind of enormous penis. And I pointed out to him that I might not need a penis to look powerful and strong, so we then had to go back to the drawing board. And then it just took a while to come up with an idea, so he didn't actually paint me as part of this series, but he's promised me that he will. But I'm not quite as open-minded as he is. He just did the first thing that I asked him to do, whereas I'm slightly, I'm of an age where I might want a bit of a hand in how it's going to look, so I'm holding off till we come up with an idea we've both agreed on.
I mean, Sadie's work really works as a whole, as a compact whole. The 6 pieces in the show are very complete. My pieces are, I've got 11 small boxes like this, and 3 large male nudes. So mine's a bit more disparate. So it's going to feel like 3 shows together, but kind of how they resonate will be really interesting, because I think there's a harshness to both our styles of work, but also a beauty.
A lot of the time with an exhibition you have no idea what it will actually look like until the work is in place. You have a vague idea of what you'd like it to be like, but when it's finally up, I think it's always quite a nice surprise for everyone involved, just to see how it all hangs together and what the themes and common threads are that occur from the work.
The concept that it's called Pin-Ups, and there is this kind of Bowie connection, which I keep going back to, is like, I think that's really important to us both, because there's going to be a soundscape of, like, just as like David Bowie in the Pin-Ups album paid homage to songs that had influenced him, we're going to have a soundscape of songs that have influenced us, and because we are quite solitary workers, music is really important to us, and I just love the fact that we can give back to music what music has given to us.
So we called the album, the show Pin-Ups, after the Bowie album from 1973, and it's obviously David Bowie and Twiggy in this iconic pose. I think Matthew was going to paint him and me in this position, but he ran out of time, so he didn't do it, so that's still on the cards. But Matthew pointed out, actually, and I'd like to pretend that this is something that I came up with, but there's a David Bowie album, Aladdin Sane, from the same year, 1973, And I did the first painting of Frank Sweet in this kind of pose where he was arching his back. That was the first one in my series. And then the next one I did was Derry de Cherville, which is the one that Homotopia have used for the campaign image. And so I did her in a similar pose so that she would kind of balance out the Frank Sweet painting, and then I just decided to do all 6 in the same position so they kind of balance out. And Matthew said, oh, it's like the image in Aladdin Sane. And in the gatefold of Aladdin Sane is this amazing photograph of him doing that. And Matthew pointed it out, and then I decided from that moment on I was going to pretend that that was something I did deliberately, just because it fits in really nicely with the Bowie theme. And don't tell anyone, but actually that kind of came about quite a long time after I'd started doing it. But sometimes these things are, you know, it's serendipitous, isn't it? They kind of present themselves to you. But so it does, it's quite nice that it fits in with the Bowie theme.